folks, Amber Bradaway here. Today I am joined by Ian Riddell, our Senior Manager of Patrol and Avalanche Mitigation. Ian, we're at 809 inches here at the end of April. You've been with Solitude for how many years?
Close to 30 years now.
30 years. So tell us a little bit about, in 30 years, what this winter has been like.
This is a winter unlike any other. It's been relentless in some respects. Mother Nature has just been delivering the goods, the snow, all season long. I do have some information here. Let me just give you an idea how much snow we've received. We picked up 31 inches of snow in October, 78 inches of snow in November, 130 inches of snow in December, 170 inches in January, 111 inches in February, with a record 229 inches of snow in March, and currently in April we sit at 60 inches, and that brings us to 809 inches a year to date. So we haven't seen these numbers consistently like this, really ever. We do have years where we're getting 100 inches a couple months in a row, maybe more, 160 inches, but to have it consecutively pretty much all season long with that March of over 200 inches, it is really unbelievable. I can't believe it. You know, you never know what each season's going to bring, and this year it's just been coming in constantly.
Yeah, lots of powder days, as you all have enjoyed. So Ian, you've got this big backpack. What I wanted to do today is just share with our guests and our community a little bit about what it takes to do the mitigation work and what it takes for us to get a lot of our signature terrain. Solitude is considered a Class A avalanche resort, which the Forest Service deems as on Forest Service lands means they have avalanche prone terrain, correct?
Correct, yes.
We have how many different routes here?
We have about 18 different identified routes that we run.
Okay.
And off those routes, we have anywhere from just 4 or 5 shot points or start zones we have to manage, all the way up to 45 identified start zones that we have to manage. And that would be off Fantasy Ridge, off Route 19 in the Honeycomb Canyon.
So you see some video today that we were able to get. The wizard behind the camera here, Mark Lodmell, our marketing manager, was able to go out in mitigation morning. I was able to join Ian on probably one of our biggest storms of the season in February.
Yep.
And it was unbelievable. I truly have never skied snow that deep. It was phenomenal to watch these guys break trail with these heavy packs. And, you know, I was really stunned at just how manual it was, how physical, and just also like all of the handwork that went into it. And then, you know, just coming down in that deep so was tremendous. So talk to us a little bit about like what's in the pack, what are you guys doing out there? Like walk us through a little bit of the details.
Sure. So kind of a hidden part about ski patrolling is we have to deal with avalanche hazard and avalanche mitigation. Our team comes in really early in the morning. Our forecasters are at work already by 5 in the morning, sometimes earlier, developing a plan for the day, what terrain we need to manage. So how we manage our terrain generally is with hand charges. That's an explosive charge. I've got an example of one in my pack here that is
how much does this pack weigh, Ian?
Well, I'm around just on a daily, probably 15 pounds. And then when I put explosives in there, it bumps it up to over 30 pounds pretty consistently.
So these guys are putting this on. This was one of the things I noticed when we went out on that mitigation morning, is they've got this heavy pack, and then they're going out there and they're breaking trail in this incredibly deep snow. It's work.
And this pack is a specialized piece of equipment. It's personal protective equipment. There's an airbag in there with an air cylinder. So if we do get caught in an avalanche, which is not common, but it has happened with avalanche professionals working the terrain, then it allows us to pull a handle which just slips into the shoulder strap here, and this will deploy an airbag out of the top of the pack right here. And it allows us the ability to, as we travel down the avalanche, rise to the top of the snow and ideally be buried, end up on the top of the snow or be buried more shallow than if we didn't have the pack. So it's a great piece of equipment, protective equipment. So we go up, so getting back to the mitigation work, we come in early, we have a morning meeting, we identify the avalanche hazard for the day. Our forecasters work super hard. Doug Catherine works super hard developing a forecast plan, and Yannick Montgomery as well. And Basically, we hike the ridges and we throw this thing right here. This is a dummy shot, but it's a 2-pound high explosive. And usually we tie a rope to this and we have a cable hanging over our start zones. We throw it up over the cable on this rope. We hoist it into the air. And so the explosive is above the snow to deliver a more widespread blast. And that's how we mitigate our hazard here at the resort primarily. It's an excellent tool for testing the stability of a slope and trying to get these avalanches to pull out. This is a 1-pound explosive. We use these for cornice work, where most of the time on our highest ridge lines, the wind blows, the snow, it develops a big wind drift called a cornice, and they get huge up there on Fantasy as well as some other locations on our mountain. And what we end up doing is these 1-pounders, we actually drill a hole down with our ski poles into the cornice. A lot of the times we're roped in, we got a harness on, we're anchored to a solid anchor, usually a tree up there with a partner. And it allows us to get out there a little ways and plug these into the cornice and let these explosives go off, so we don't have this looming hazard above the ski slopes. So 1-pounders we use for that. 2-pounders are bread and butter. We throw these over cables, we hoist them up, and we get a nice air blast that affects a broad area.
Yeah.
So these are the tools of the job.
And so Ian, talk to us a little bit about, at this point in the season by this film, how many mitigation days have we had this year?
All right, so we have been open for, I believe, just over 160 days so far this season. And we have gone out and performed avalanche mitigation 94 days this season.
Wow.
So, almost every other day this season we've been out there mitigating the hazard. So you might ask, well, hey, if you guys are out there all the time, how come you don't have your whole mountain open every morning? Well, it's a process. And when the snowstorms come in 2 or 3 times a week, we're just barely trying to stay on top of each storm before the next one hits. And it's very important for us to go out there and do the work, but the timing of the next storm sometimes impacts us for the ability to open that terrain. We're working really hard to get our terrain open, but it's the timing of the next storm. It depends on the specific hazard we're dealing with. And then it depends on how many patrollers we have on that day. We don't have 100 patrollers coming in to go out there and get the mitigation work done. We have about 18 to 24 patrollers coming in depending on the day. We still have to open up our chairlifts, our mounting, get our slow signs out. So not everybody can be en route to get the avalanche work done. So we have more of a core team to do that. And then the other patrollers need to be ready for people that are getting injured on the mountain. So that's why, we just can't get everything open all the time right away. But we are trying really hard.
And that's one of the
get our
things
guests on
that
the
I
train.
learned when I was able to go out with Ian in February and Mark was able to go out here. Is just, it is a process. It's extremely manual. So talk to us a little bit about some of the technology that's out there. What have we started? What else are we bringing on board to help with this?
Yeah, so there's different ways to deliver explosive charges or to mitigate the avalanche hazard. Some of the tools that are out there is artillery. Our neighbors in Little Cottonwood Canyon, they have a highway, and the ski resorts house howitzer, 105 millimeter howitzer rifles that they shoot across the canyon to protect the highway as well as some areas in the resort. But that program's going away. They're using old technology and the military doesn't like it, and that is going to end any year here. I believe I believe by the end of 2024, I believe they want that to be finished as ammunition's running out as well. So that program is phasing out. There's what's called avalanches, and that's a gun type technology, but it uses compressed air to launch an explosive projectile to come down and affect the start zones. We used to have those at Solitude back in the 80s and early 90s. We phased that out for our own reasons, but Brighton used to use that technology. Snow Basin currently uses that technology, and so does Alta as well, Little Cottonwood Canyon. Additionally to that technology, what's up and coming are called RACs, remote avalanche control systems. And there's products called GasX, which is a explosive delivered through oxygen or nitrogen with a gas blend, and they ignite it and makes an explosion in the start zone. And there's also another rack that's out there called a Wiesen Tower. And what that does is it deploys a charge below the tower.
So like these?
like these, except a lot larger,
Yeah.
about 5 times the size,
Yeah.
beneath the tower, and it delivers that air blast. It's on a rope, so it stays above the snow and delivers a big air blast, and that can be done remotely.
Yep.
And there's a couple other products, the Avalanche Guard, which can launch a projectile out and deliver it on the slope.
So do we have any of this?
We do. We
yeah.
have invested into the Wiesen tower. We have one Wiesen tower currently, and this was installed last summer, so that the summer of 2022, and we've been using that all season long, and it's been working out very well. The advantage of having these towers, you don't have to put people into that area of hazard, so it protects our employees, and it delivers a very good explosive charge that still gets the work done that we want it to. In fact, it works so well that we're going to be investing more of these towers. We're installing more this summer to help us with our avalanche work and to protect our workers and ultimately our guests. Little Cottonwood Canyon has invested in a lot of these. The DOT department for the highway has installed these, as well as the resorts. Snowbird and Alta, respectfully, have installed I think close to 8 at this point with each resort, and I think there's plans for more. So this is newer technology. It's been proven in Europe. It comes from Europe. It's a Swiss product.
Ian, tell us a little bit about why we get all this snow. We talked about October, November, December, January, February. Why is it this time of year that it feels like things get more sporty, let's say, right?
Sure.
What's going on?
So the big answer, it's springtime. Our sun is in the sky longer. The sun angle is changing from low angle winter sun to higher angle spring, summer sun, and we're getting more hours of sunshine on the snow. What is snow? It's water, right? Frozen water. It wants to melt when it gets warm.
It wants to move.
And then gravity kicks in and starts moving that snow down the hill at a faster rate. One of the issues we see on a small example would be roof avalanches, mountain cabins that have snow on their roofs. It gets warm. What happens in the afternoon? It slides off the roof. Same thing happens on the mountain. So we've got dry snow avalanches we have to be concerned about when onset of the storms that can happen in spring. And then we have wet snow avalanches that can happen once things warm up after we receive those storms. So it's warming up. More daylight hours, it's warming up, and that snow just wants to turn into water and head down the mountain.
Yeah. One of the things I'll say, coming from the East Coast out here is, the whole notion of avalanche and managing avalanche terrain, it's just a lot. You hear Ian, that morning I went in and Doug Catherine was there. You feel like you're in a science class when they're talking and getting ready for the day. There is just so much that goes into the prep, the planning, the resources, the training, the staff, to make sure that we can give you as much terrain as possible in the best condition as possible. And then the physicality. Like just the whole physical, when you talk about 93 days of doing this is 93 days these guys are getting up at dark 30. They're coming up here, they're getting out on their routes, they're schlepping these extremely heavy packs, and they're breaking trail in very deep storms. And it's just been tremendous, Ian. I think on behalf of the team and the community here, we're so grateful for you and the team and everything you've done.
Well, thank you so much. And the Avalanche department's been working super hard, and the ski patrol as well. And they've just been crushing it. I couldn't ask for anything more from our team, and they've just been doing an amazing job. So
awesome.
Thanks to them. Thank you for that.
Yeah, high five.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for my partner to get ready. It's important to do a nice Simo, so our shots go off at the same time to protect our hearing, so we can anticipate when the blast is going to be. And it actually allows us to move quicker along our route by doing 2 shots at the same time. We could move as a unit, do 2 shots and move as a unit, versus getting delayed by the shots going off independently. It actually slows down the route.
Okay, 66. 3, 2, 1. Pull.
I need to inspect my fuse, make sure I got a good burn. My fuse is definitely lit. It's smoking nice. And I'm putting it over a ridge that's going to pull out a slope to the left of this ridge and a slope to the right of this ridge. There it is hanging down there. That's nice. We both hit the rope.
312. Go ahead.
We're about 30 seconds out right now.
You up at the summit?
Now it's time to cover the ears. Okay, that's 2 shots. We knocked a little bit of snow loose. Got a soft slab that's reached out to the left side of the ridge. It's pulled out here to the right side. Very effective shot. Just exactly what we wanted. Sean!
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm ready to throw.
Okay, I'm almost there. Just putting my igniter on. Okay, you all set?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Fire!
Fire.
All right, folks, so what's ahead by the time this comes out? What will be on the docket for spring is we have a great Cinco de Mayo party. We're really excited. That's on Friday the 5th. And then we have a Kentucky Derby party. Wear your best Derby hats. We'll have some great mint juleps going on that Saturday. You can watch it in our bars in both the Moonbeam and in the Village. And then on Sunday the 7th, we are gonna retire Eagle. That old gal has done her job.
Wow.
And she is ready to sunset and go into better things. So on Sunday the 7th, Eagle Retirement Party, that will be down at Eagle. We'll have a food truck, we'll have music. It'll be our last opportunity to ride that signature first detachable quad in Utah.
That's right.
Next year, we're replacing that with the 6-pack. So thanks, folks. We'll see you in a few weeks.